Okay, I know it's late, but better late than never, yeah? Hey guys, welcome back to the Noob Nerd channel. This is Sid, and I'm back with another Doctor Who review. Yes, as I said before, I'm sorry that this video came so much later than it should have been. It's been a week since the actual episode came out. Nearly the next episode is going to come out. Episode 3 of Series 12 is going to come out tomorrow as I'm filming this. I've just been caught up with a lot of stuff, and I said in the first vid, don't hold me against anything. I don't want to say I'm going to make every review on time, or any review at all. But this episode had to be talked about. It just had to be. So, yeah, if you're new to the channel, I really welcome you here. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Anything is greatly appreciated. And if you're stuck with me and you're coming back from the first review, thank you for the support for the first review. I like the comments there. I like the discussion. Seemed many to. I don't know. It didn't seem that many people responded to my video. Still finding my feet, but the people who did comment, it did seem like there was a good reaction from that episode as well. So yeah. Of course, my opinion is my own. You might disagree. Leave your comments. Leave your own thoughts on this episode. Was it more satisfying than the first episode? In my opinion, it wasn't as good as the first episode, but in a lot of ways it was more satisfying. And not for the things I thought it was going to be. It wasn't going to be for the actual plot, it was more of the setup for future stories, wasn't it? So yeah, it's good for Doctor Who to be back every Sunday. You have a good rhythm going, new year, new me, need to get more regular uploads. And the more I'm into talking about it, the more I want to keep on uploading. So I'll try to be better at actually uploading on time. I usually aim to upload the day after probably each Doctor Who episode comes out, so every Monday or so in the UK time at least. But yeah, let's just get into the episode. It's finally good that we got a story arc. Yes, I know, bloody hell, Timeless Child is a thing. We'll talk about that later in the video, but it's just really satisfying to see a story arc, because even if the episodes like this one, which aren't at peak level, you still want to carry on watching. You still want to carry on investing in the show. I already love, obviously, because it's a story arc. You're building something, and this episode was still a memorable episode for the most part, even though it wasn't probably the best for the reasons I'll tell you. Watched it twice. I always watch episodes twice before I review them, just to give me a gauge of what's going on. And yeah, this episode was mainly dedicated about getting the Master on point. They introduced him in the last episode subtly, and then they, of course, that massive cliffhanger, and so they had to live up to the hype. They had to show the Master in full swing against the Doctor, and this didn't disappoint. Nothing was weird about this. Well, it was weird, but it was weird and wonderful from Sacha Dhawan, who is given time to breathe in this episode, but probably with that comes taking away of the actual Kasavin plot, those new monsters that we saw last episode. It takes away from their development, because we see more about the Master, but less story on the actual Earth stuff. The Earth stuff a bit suffers for it. So yeah, we'll go into that more. Yeah, I think the Kasavin, those light monsters, were more intimidating last episode. I think this episode they were just there for having a threat, just to be there, if you know what I mean. It didn't feel scary to me, even when Yaz and them were on the run. They were just popping up with light, and it was like the Doctor was like, "I'll tell you what's going on, don't worry." You know what I mean? By the end, so the effects were cool like last time, but again, they should have used more of that camouflage technique, I think. Yeah, Graham used his laser shoot to hit them. Like, it was funny. It was really funny. But it's like, that's the only thing they did. They just proved as cannon fodder. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, let's talk about Graham and Yaz and Ryan getting stuck after that plane crash. Like, how are they going to escape that plane crash? And they bloody somehow found a way to do it. But of course, in the context of the first bit, it was like, what? How did they manage to get a message out? How is he flying with an app? Of course, it's technology. It's, you know what I mean? And it was an inventive way to get out of it, and the Doctor saving the day, like Blink, like where he's using the video to talk to people, but it actually sounds like he or she is responding to the video, the person watching the video. So it's like really funny when it was like Graham's like, "I'm not panicking," and Doctor already knows what he's gonna be like. You're panicking. That was really funny. And yeah, it was revealed at the end it was a bootstrap paradox situation where the Doctor was the one who made these little maneuvers to actually help them get to help connect the bottom of the plane to a phone app. Like imagine 20 years time, you never know, that could be a thing. It's a new decade. Plane technology could, I guess, advance with the new Vor company or something. But yeah, it was the Doctor who actually engineered that whole video after she realized that she had to save she had to find a way for the timeline to work itself out again, if you know what I mean. I made it sound really confusing, but you know what I mean. Timey-wimey me stuff, you love to see it. But what I did find a bit stupid was how did like they get out of the plane after they landed? Like we saw some security men talking to Barton, and they just didn't notice Barton or the security guard. And when they're talking, we're like literally 5 meters away from Barton, the Barton can't hear a thing, and they just walk off as if like they literally like pick somewhere else to hide. But it doesn't matter because Barton's just on his phone. He's not looking back. They're right there, mate. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're on the run, and which is a plot point we've already seen before. Let's be honest. It didn't feel like, oh my god. Barton was like, I've got all your phones. You're bloody stuck with me, mate. You're bloody gonna. I don't know what I'm on about. He's like, I've got access to everything you got. This granny's holding an iPad. They're onto you, mate. It's just like it just didn't feel like, oh, okay, sick. Hopefully this brings on more and interesting concepts. This is a springboard for that, but the springboard itself, or them on the phone have to get rid of all their phones because otherwise they're gonna get tracked down. It's like something I've seen before. It didn't really seem inventive to me. But I did like the scene where Graham went to Yaz, and I forgot his name. Ryan. Tells you all I know. Yeah, Graham somehow has access to or somehow makes it into like a construction site. He knows where to go. Something like that. I don't know. And they're just sitting there, and Graham's talking to Yaz about regeneration, how he knows about regeneration, which is cool. It was very cool. Yeah, that was ages ago. That was like the first episode he mentioned it. That's what he's talking about, the first ever episode that Chris Chibnall's run. But of course, when they talk about how did she not recognize the Master, and yeah, I like that scene was a cool relationship, setting up more of that subplot that we like to see about them not knowing about the Doctor and what tensions that could cause. Of course, if you haven't seen my first review, check it out for more information from what I thought from that. But yeah, I want to see that subplot expanded, and that's one of the main things in this episode I actually really like. I like how they're building on the subplot, and how they're making like, oh, how they're reacting to the Doctor's past not being revealed and all that. How's that going to develop over the season, and what effects will it have on the characters emotionally? Like I said before in the first review, and I think they're going to follow through that. But also like the quieter moment when Graham's like, I'd rather be in the run with you guys. You know what I mean? It's like maybe Yaz could be one of those. I want to see the Yaz relationship and Graham relationship actually combine of it. Talk about maybe Yaz being the daughter he never had, and they're feeling like more of a unit now. They've been through one series, they're on their second series. I want to see more of that. You know what I mean? And they're like, I like how Ryan's like, oh, we can do what the Doctor would do in that situation, try and save the world. And it's good to think about for the audience perspective that the Doctor has impacted the companions and made them better people, even better people than they already were. You know what I mean? Not sure if the Doctor's actually gonna come back. You know what I mean? It's one of those. But the Doctor, oh sorry, just go through my notes. Yeah, just cut that bit, please. Again, I love Graham's humour as well, on point. And even Ryan's humour was a bit on point as well. But Graham, with his bloody laser shoe. Obviously some people think that's cheesy. It is cheesy, but that's the whole point. And Bradley Walsh just knows how, the actor knows how to sell the comedy lines. He's really good at that stuff, as well as the dramatic stuff. I hope we see more of that as well. But we've seen loads of dramatic stuff first series. I like a bit of cool laser gun shoe introduced in the first episode. I was like, when they're gonna actually use the gadgets, and they used the laser shoe here. Yeah, Graham was again the more standout. Ryan and Yaz didn't get to do much, but I liked it when they worked together to trick the people into thinking that, oh, why are you calling Yaz? Why are you calling your family? I was watching. I was like, you're stupid, mate. Why are you calling the family? Sure, what's going on? But then it reveals that Yaz only called the family to lure them out, so Graham could use his bloody laser shoe. Sorry for the lie about that. That's my computer turning off. that was inventive, and I like how Ryan's explaining the plan like a boss. Like he's very confident about it, and then it's for the audience's sake, to be fair. But they poke fun. They put the writers poke fun of themselves, and then Yaz is like, "Why are you telling them the plan?" I was like, "Ryan, I got a bit caught up." Small moments like that. That was cool. That was cool. And it showed that they had some cleverness, mate. They weren't like, because literally Barton was literally like, "Don't call you basically say, if you call your mates, you're gonna get tracked down, mate." And they did exactly that. I was like, "Why are you doing it? It's just morons, mate." But yeah, you could say it was a bit too easy for them to escape, but it was more so easy to escape in a not construction houses place. That place, it was a bit too easy to escape there because there was like loads of them. Whereas it was a good scene in the police with when the people come up to them and like trying to arrest them basically. That was a better scene for them to escape. You know what I mean? But it's like Barton's got goons everywhere. He's got bloody people working for him. Like, come on, I want to see the extent of this operation. Like, I know he's basically head of Google, but like he's got people willing to arrest him and put wanted posters out there. Is that even the thing? Nitpicks. I don't know. Yeah. So let's get on with the Doctor. Stuck with Ada, a new character in this episode, and she's our introductory point to a new setting, time period almost. All those multiple Earths weren't just parallel dimensions, though they were most likely all time periods, like she said. Of course, Ada's stuck with the Doctor because Ada thinks it's all in her head. This whole new dimension with all the wires coming out. In 1834, they arrived themselves there. It's a cool historical setting. I liked when they're introducing all the inventions, the grenade, the steam engine and all that. They actually used it for the episode as well. So yeah, not only is historically educating, but also action-packed, as Chris Chibnall and the rest of the team would love. But no, seriously, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Got me interested. It was a good setting. I was like, oh, new setting? It could have just been like, oh, get back to modern stuff. But no, I was into it. But overall, in terms of that whole historical set piece thing, when they're going from one place to the other, from World War II to 18th century London or 19th century, Chibnall, of course, the whole point of this show is going back to its historical roots, giving you lessons about historical figures. This case being Ada, the computer, I think the first computer women or something. Sorry. I don't know all the knowledge about it. That's why Doctor Who's there to teach me. And of course the spy Noor Khan, who fought against the Nazis using that Morse code thing. But the thing is, with all this time to set up the master and all this other stuff with Yaz and Graham, it's like there's little time to expand on their actual character. So that's why you have the Doctor exposition being like, you're important because of this, you're important because of that. Ada gets more of a character, whereas Noor Khan gets less of that, and they have to do more explaining. But Ada gets more time to shine. But I like both characters. I think they could have been actually interesting companions, and I'm sure maybe other comics will like to expand on their journeys with the Doctor if they ever had one. So obviously, I think their minds get wide bunny in. Yeah, when the Master shows up, bloody hell! Again, things getting spicy by the minute. Sacha Dhawan just gets to show all his, not just the quirky Matt Smith style type humor he's got, not humor, like acting for the Master. He shows different sides to him, and I love how they got the shrinking effect for the shrinking ray back, and you see him actually shrinking people. They introduced it in the first episode, and they doubled down with it, and it was actually intimidating. He was like, bro, he was like, oh, welcome to the incredible shrinking ray. Of course, another similarity with the Doctor. The Doctor pretended to be the marvelous apparating man. That was a funny joke. That was a good joke, to be fair to them. Similarities like that, but then the Master all of a sudden is like, bloody, put your hands up, like you're shouting with raw anger, and you see that like different persona, like going from one minute to the next, unpredictable, just like the Doctor, but different emotions, negative emotions. 1 minute he's a magician, 1 minute he's a trickster, 1 minute he's an angry man, and 1 minute he's a bloody savage. He's a bloody sexual doctor. No, yeah, that it actually made the shrinking ray actually intimidating. Bloody hell. Yeah, when he asks the Doctor to kneel, bro, that is some Tumblr stuff right there. Tumblr exploded when that happened. But seriously, fantastic piece of intense stuff. It was like, kneel, or otherwise I'll shrink everyone. And I don't think he gave a crap about shrinking anyone after he shrank those other two. And I think he just wanted to see the Doctor kneel and call his name 3 times. Master, master, master. Wow. Of course, it links back to his character before in the show. He wants the gratification of her saying he loves it when she says his name. He loves it. And his face is like, oh, bloody hell, yes. That was everyone's reaction. Most Doctor Who, especially Master Doctor fanboys, fan shipping. Both actors, to be fair, did a fantastic job. I think he brings out the best in Jodie Whittaker. I think Jodie Whittaker brings the best out of him as well. Fantastic stuff. Great dynamic between the two. Great dynamic, and it's not even like I feel like there's room to grow. It's not like oh crap, this is it now. This is the level in terms of acting. You can even get higher than this now. Of course, it depends if Christian was going to write every single episode with them. You know what I mean? Of course, we'll see if he's going to appear in multiple episodes. That's what Stephen Moffat did. He always introduced the Missy character in all his episodes. So we'll see. Of course, and then when the Doctor finds out about him not actually working with the Kasavin properly, like not knowing everything about what the Kasavin do, just as the audience could find out as well. They'll be like, oh, the Master doesn't know everything that's going on. Otherwise, he would have known that she didn't die. You know what I mean? She didn't die. And the Doctor loves doing this whole thing where we see in the first episode against Barton, where she's like, I'm really hard to get rid of, and she sings with such happiness. But it's all in the intent of threaten. It's like she threatens people with love, almost, with happiness, with enthusiasm. That's her Doctor, really. It's very much happy-go-lucky person. When it gets serious, she intimidates her. She intimidates her enemies with a smile, almost. And when she works out the journey, smiling in his face. Sometimes too much dialogue, talking about the plan and what your plan entails. Again, a problem with the whole era so far. Because, you know what I mean, like, the joke is funny the first time when other characters are not understanding. Oh, the Doctor's speaking a language because I'm from a prehistoric time, I don't understand what you're saying. It's like, you said that joke the first time, like, it's not that funny anymore, mate. You know what I mean? But when, let's get back to more positive notes. The Master revealing himself as a Nazi. Bloody hell. That was intense stuff again, his costume, mate. It makes me want to bloody dress as a Nazi. Not in that way. But it's a good stylish outfit, and of course goes back to the Master disguising himself as a Prime Minister. Gave me that vibes again, throughout time as well. It was like a globe-trotting adventure. Like a chase throughout time, almost. It was really cool stuff. And it was pretty intense, to be fair, on rewatch especially, when he's looking straight at Noor Khan's face, as she's hiding, of course, the Doctor and Ada under the floorboards, and they shoot the floorboards. Intense stuff, bro. Intense stare-off between the two of them. There's a little bit of that World War II movie. It almost became a World War II movie, but with a little Doctor and Master twist to it. Wish we could actually see more of it. Yeah, of course, in that sense, Noor Khan, that character, is showing off her historical prowess. How she used floorboards to hide equipment from the Nazis in real life, and how they're using it again against the Master. That's some cool stuff. And of course, then the Doctor uses that tech, that Morse code tech, to communicate. So that's a cool little thing, isn't it? It's like using the important historical points about these characters, and using the Doctor using them to her own advantage. Really cool stuff. Yeah. Yeah, but then we go back to the Earth stuff with Barton, Daniel Barton's mother, being sat down, and I think the actress who came in did a really good job for the one scene she had. Like, so maybe if Barton comes back, we'll see more like interesting character arc with that family thing. But I think he kills his mom in it. His mom is just not speaking, not having any of it, saying he's like, I'm the most successful man in the planet, and she's like, why am I here? It's funny, man. But also shows that, ooh, if you're rich or successful, doesn't mean you're loved. Not always. You know what I mean? It's one of those. But no, the few lines she did have were really cool. When he's like, please say well done, and she's like, well done. Like, you know what I mean? That was good stuff. That was a funny joke. But why did he have to kill his mom so quick? Like, bloody hell, must have hated your mum, mate. Even though you wanted her there. Bit weird. Like, come on, you killed her first. Like, now, no, most people are not dead now after that ending. So you basically just killed your mom for no reason, mate. So I just thought that now. But yeah, I don't know if people care about Barton like I do. He's an interesting character. I like Lenny Henry as an actor. I think he's doing a good job here with the stuff he's given. But part 1 should have explained a lot more in terms of that whole Kasavin plot. Because then it will leave less space for cramming in this second part, with hindsight, if you know what I mean. Yeah, hopefully he's... I do like how he survived though, because it just gives you a chance to bring him back as well, and maybe have him with his own episode, where he's separate from the Master. Because the first episode, it was all about him, really, about being the villain, but then the Master kind of was revealed to be the main villain, and he's flying over with his new TARDIS. Oh yes, the hut, taking Barton everywhere. Barton's almost playing second fiddle again. Maybe we'll see him in another episode, if people wanted to see him. Or expand on the character, why not? Like they did with Nardole almost, but like in a villain version of it. The Master's TARDIS, mate. It's a bloody small Type 40. It's not Type 40 TARDIS. It's Type 12. You know what I mean? It's only one room. I do like the little dashboard they had. Wish we could have. It's one of those things where I almost want to see more of it. I want to see, even though it's one room, I want to see like a visual dictionary of it. You know what I mean? And it was so cool seeing it fly in vortex form, because of course Moffat already introduced the idea of like different looking TARDISes in it, and how it can, you see the diner of Clara as she escapes going through the vortex in space. So why not a hut going through space, as weird as it looks? You know what I mean? Like, it's a cool continuation of that thing. Good stuff. Yeah, Barton's speech at the end where he's talking about technology. I got the idea. Again, another warning against real life, you know what I mean? But we got the idea. It was good. It been a bit too long, mate. You know what I mean? And the plan was interesting. It did all fit. It did all make sense. Little plot holes, really, I think. Anything to think of with DNA rewriting. But again, it felt like just, oh, okay, let's get it all done. Let's explain everything now. It was cool when the Doctor rolled in with her Ada and a Noor Khan. That was like some female empowerment stuff, mate. Good stuff. It was good cinematography. Again, cinematography on point. Especially when you see the massive cabin doors outside the air, where they keep all the planes. There was some good shots up there. The stakes were definitely higher in the first episode. To be fair, these two episodes are pretty separate in terms of like, they're almost like two different episodes, but just loosely connected in terms of like the whole plan. You know, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, they're pretty separate episodes, different directors, I think, as well. Even though it's the same writer, Chris Chibnall. Yeah, I like the Doctor's use of tech with Ada when she's recording the Master as he's saying his plan on top of the Eiffel Tower. Good stuff. Good stuff. The 4 knocks to get his attention. Contact with the classic Who. Just gave me some chills, man. Gave me some chills. Of course, maybe you could say whenever Chibnall uses Russell T Davies type stuff with the 4 knocks and stuff, that's when his writing's the best. Nah, I'm joking. It made sense. It was a bit weird that they ignored it for the Missy era, but I get it. They wanted to dial it back a bit and focus on a new incarnation, a new showrunner. But this new showrunner's coming back and introducing it back again. Not introducing it back again, but like having a little Easter egg to it. That was cool stuff. And the contact from what was it called? The classic Who? Telepathic, that's the word. Contact communication. And like she was like, oh, I'm not the only one who can do classic. That was a cool little meta reference there. And yeah, I saw it. I remember seeing the classic Who for the first time. I was like, oh, I know the Doctor was telepathic, but not like that. But here they did it with such class, man. It was so well done. I like how the Master was different hairstyles, because obviously he hadn't gone to the modern day yet, so his head was all shaven. It was really, his World War II looked sensational. Almost want to see his journey there. You know what I mean? Him stuck in Paris, a whole spin-off about it. You know what I mean? It's one of those. And of course, when they contact each other through the Morse code, they then go to Eiffel Tower. Jodie's like, remember when you pushed me off that bloody large building and I died? And he's like, yes. No. See, I should make better dialogue, mate. I should be the one writing dialogue, mate. You know what I mean? Just get them to being sexually attracted. No, I'm off it today, guys. I'm off it today. I kind of want this episode to end so I can move on to my life, because as soon as you know it, the next episode will be out. Yeah, at the start of that scene when them two are at the top of the Eiffel Tower, it does seem a bit like exposition heavy, but then he moves on to Gallifrey talk, and that's where we're getting into it. Talking about my planet is burnt, pulverized again. That's what I was saying. I was like, again? Are they reversing the Day of the Doctor stuff? Will they explain more at the end as well? It got you intrigued, it got you into it. The Doctor wouldn't believe it, and I wouldn't believe it. And then I think my mom said to me when I was watching the episode, the mom was like, oh, it was the Master. It must have been the Master who did it. And I was like, Mom, you don't know what you're on about, mate. You're just saying that because he's the only evil guy here. Turns out she was right. You know what I mean? But I do like it when he got angry, him strangling the Doctor, but not really going to strangle her enough. You know what I mean? Nah, joking. He's just learning the information about the Doctor, sending information to the British for him being found out as a perception filter. Because I was like, why is the Asian guy's a Nazi? But they explained it really well. But the perception filter, again, back from Russell T Davies, it makes sense. Cool way to do it. I think they did that with perception filter with the president when he came President Saxon as well. It makes sense. And of course, who doesn't love that Nazi suit? But then he gets caught. I like the Doctor using tech that with Ada, with Norcon, even though they don't know what a phone is, to record him talking about the plan to betray the Kasavin and Barton in classic Master fashion. Of course, that backfires on him after as well, and he stays alive. Good. They didn't kill him. They didn't kill the Master off that quick. Good stuff. Good stuff. Whew. Now we get to the good bit. Now I'm joking. We skip to the good bit, because to be fair, without this last like 10 minutes or so, this movie would have been almost a 6 or 7 out of 10. It would have, that 8 out of 10 I gave first episode might have dropped even lower. But it wasn't that bad. It was never going to be under 5 out of 10. It was at least 6 out of 10. But this last 10 minutes raised it up again to a 7 out of 10. Maybe even keeping that at that 8 out of 10 level. Of course, I'm a bit biased because I'm a Doctor Who fan. Yeah. But you just gotta love Gallifrey lore. Setting up a big storyline. With being found out, my mom is right. The Master was. In fact, I've been speaking loud on this microphone. It doesn't matter because I'll higher the volume. I'll make the volume higher. I don't know why I'm whispering. I just don't want to get my shit up in a fan because this was sensational. Gallifrey's back, but it's all burnt. It's all bloody burnt. So, can the Doctor and Master go into this bubble universe that easily? Like, it's a bit easy to get there now. Oh, I guess after the Doctor found it in Hell Sent, or, well, Heaven Sent, or Hell Bent, that she can get there. But that's nitpicking. I don't know what's going on with the lore. Someone explain to me what's going on with that. Yeah, emotional history with Chibnall. Chibnall likes talking about the history of Earth in his Doctor Who episodes. You've seen that a lot. And making other writers talk about that as well. The history, the significance of Earth history. But if he can now flip it on its head and make more sci-fi concepts with it, making his own history with Gallifrey. Wow. The founding fathers of Gallifrey have lied to the Master and they've caused him to go absolutely berserk, and then he basically pulverized everyone on Gallifrey. Allegedly. Everyone's dead. You know what I mean? How did he bloody get that army to kill everyone? Like, did he just get bombs and kill everyone? You know what I mean? But of course, there's lots of planet-destroying weaponry in the Time Lord vaults. So who knows how he did it? But I'm bloody excited to find out how. You know what I mean? The timeless child, alive, the timeless child that's been buried in the Time Lord's DNA for centuries. For since their existence, the whole existence of the species is a lie. It's a perversion. The founding fathers lied to them. We see a little flashback going back to the timeless child in last season. I didn't think that was going to be a new story arc. I thought that was just going to be like, I thought that was just a reference to the Doctor's past, and it was just like, it was mysterious, but they didn't actually know an answer for it. But it looks like they have an answer in play. They implemented Gallifrey that quickly into it, but it felt right. The Doctor's face when she sees the devastation. That was one of the better moments where you see the Jodie Whittaker Doctor is the Doctor. You know what I mean? Sometimes she doesn't feel like a Doctor. She feels like an exposition person. You know what I mean? But this was one of the many times, to be fair, that she feels like the Doctor. And I feel like with this storyline, it's going to bring Jodie Whittaker to a whole new level, hopefully. Let's hope so. Oh, just actions speak louder than words again. And she didn't need to say anything to see the devastation on the face when she realised, and the audience realised, that the Master had in fact killed everyone. Well, the Master says that after, but you'd realise everyone was dead. Good CGI as well. Gallifrey looks so cool even when it's burnt or grizzled. Because even in the end of time, the Gallifrey didn't even look as bad as that. Bloody hell. You know what I mean? But there's got to be some Time Lords left. Who knows? But the Time Lords that really matter are the Master and the Doctor. The Master with that hologram. See, again, another Russell T Davies thing that's beautifully implemented into this thing. Because we haven't seen a hologram in ages from Russell T Davies era. Well, to be fair, we saw it in the Stephen Moffat era, but we didn't see much messages being shown. Remember that beautiful scene in the end of the parting of the ways, where the Eccleston's talking to Rose Tyler, basically telling Rose Tyler, you're going home, mate, have a good life. And of course the hologram moves with them, so the person viewing the hologram in the TARDIS, if they move, then the hologram moves. So it makes sense when the Master's looking down on the Doctor. She's basically in vulnerable mode. She's listening. She's like, what the hell's happening? She's angry by then. She's chucked a screwdriver away. The music's swelling up. I love the Master's theme in this episode. You know what it is. They did it last episode. Really good stuff. I think the music's Segun Akinola's stepping up for. He is a worthy successor as a composer of Doctor Who. Just from that scene alone in Gallifrey. But yeah, the Master, when he's saying, "Why would I tell you? You need to find out yourself for the story arc." I think the way I'm saying it right now doesn't do it justice. How much hyped this has got me. I'm setting myself up to disappointment, but it's fine. It's bloody fine. At least I'm enjoying myself now. And the Master's the acting from Sacha Dhawan there, as well as Jodie. Again, the dynamic is there, even though this is just a hologram message, just like in Parting of the Ways, where you have an emotional moment. Instead of the Doctor sending the message, just the Master. Instead of the Doctor doing a stab in the back to Rose, it feels like it's the Master doing another stab in the back to the Doctor. You see a little flashback to the timeless child. This little girl with purple energy. What's happening? Is this to do with regeneration cycles? Is this to do with their time travel powers? Because of course Omega was one of their founding fathers. He invented time travel in the Classic Who. Well, according to Classic Who. So who knows what's happening, man? Who knows what is happening right now? It does seem to me everyone's getting comfortable in their roles. You see the companions asking her, "Who are you, Doc? Who are you really?" And the Doctor says that on second rewatch, it's a better scene when she's talking about, "I'm Gallifrey, I'm from Kasterborous." Because of course before, in the first viewing, I thought it was like, oh, okay, just copying Voyage of the Dam, trying to go for a cool moment, copying David's lines about Kasterborous, or the constellation of Kasterborous. But in the second rewatch, the music again is really good. It makes sense, she says the same thing, but she doesn't want to dwell on it too much. You see Yaz when she's asking, "Shall we go to your place, if that's alright?" And then you see the little twitch in Jodie's face. It's subtle acting. Really good stuff. The Doctor just doesn't want to talk about it. She's like, maybe another time. And the way her face just has a little hint of animosity. Really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. And she looks back. I like how the TARDIS changes colour when everything becomes a bit sadder. And you see at the end, the blue reflected on her face. And we'll see where that takes us. If her anger about Gallifrey dying will again persist with the companions, and maybe that will show a darker side towards the companions. Maybe she just gets a bit frustrated, but for something so little, because they're just asking about her family's past, but she can't respond properly and she's getting a bit more angry. And of course she might be pissed off anyway, because she's going to be trying to get her mind off this whole thing, but she won't be able to, and then that might trickle down with their companions who won't know what's going on. Like, "Doctor, why are you so pissed off?" They find out themselves that Gallifrey's dead. Of course, you could say this is taking away what the 50th anniversary special did, the Day of the Doctor, but not really, because the Day of the Doctor is always going to be a special episode anyway, in my eyes, in many people's eyes. And let's be honest, Stephen Moffat didn't really do anything with that storyline of Gallifrey being back and it was more so about the Doctor flying towards something, but he didn't really do anything with that little plot point. I know he wasn't going to be showrunner for long, but the Doctor still felt like he's running away, or she's running away. Like she said herself in this episode that she's running away, and you could say it's Chris Chibnall just not progressing anything and just going back to Time War shit. But that was some good storyline. Her anger, her dark side stemming from Gallifrey being dead. And if they do it again, but in a new cool way, where the Master and Doctor are still able to go to Gallifrey, the Gallifrey is still back, so the Day of the Doctor still affected stuff, and you get to see more of Gallifrey's past as well. It's more expansion as well on the lore. So, and I wasn't sitting there watching it being like, oh, they've ruined Day of the Doctor. I was invested, man. I was like, wow, I want to watch the rest of this series. I want to see what's happening. And you never know, the Day of the Doctor could still be intact and could still play a larger role in what's happening in this series as well. Because it's all Gallifrey, isn't it? So we have to see the full explanations as well of everything that's happening. But if Gallifrey stays a bit burnt and dead, if it affects the storyline properly, if it affects the characters emotionally in a cool way, making them develop more, why not? Why not? And obviously, I think they are going to show Gallifrey even more, I think. Hopefully. I'm just having a... Who knows what's going to happen, man? Who knows? It's that fear of the unknown, but in a good way. You don't know what's happening next episode. We do, but you don't know what's happening by the end of the series. And it's already setting us up for a better finale than last series. I'll tell you that. It's that you don't know what's on the horizon for Doc. You don't know what they're going to reveal. You think you know everything about the Doctor? No, you don't. Still as mysterious as she was, or he was 50 years ago. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm really excited to see what this series holds. I think it was a bit more rambling on by the end. It's been a while since I did this review again. I'll try to be better. I'll try to do my next review in a couple of days after the next episodes come out. Really soon. It's coming out really soon as well. On a Monday. This Monday, hopefully I'll try to upload it. And yeah, if you've watched the whole of this video, again, bloody hell, thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe and share. I really appreciate the support. Let me know what your thoughts on this episode. I'm going to give a rating last episode of this review, of these reviews. I forgot to actually give an actual rating. For this episode in particular, I would give a 7 out of 10. Or 6.5 out of 10, if I had to be harsh. And I'll give the story itself, because the last episode was 8, and this was 6.5 out of 10. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. 3.5 stars. See, it's not perfect, but it's a good solid opener to start things off in terms of expanding on Time Lord lore that we didn't hear about at all last season. That bloody holds it up, and it'll make it a memorable one in my opinion. You know what I mean? So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.